Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. And today, I'm excited to share with you guys another Invicta watch. Now, I just reviewed a watch the other day about the, it was the Invicta Grand Octane or Grand Arsenal Blue Label Edition. If you haven't checked it out, awesome watch. Check it out. All right, but this one here, I wasn't planning on buying another watch so quick. I wasn't planning on spending the money I spent on this watch. It's the most expensive Invicta watch I've ever purchased. Actually, I think the most expensive watch I've ever purchased. I like to stay within that 300 and under price point, and I spent a little more. But I had to because this was just a beautiful piece, and I had to have it. And the piece we're going to talk about today is my very first Diamond Edition Invicta. And this is it right here. Absolutely stunning, guys. I'm going to come out right off the bat, right off the gate here, tell you guys, you got to get this if you like the Invicta brand. This is something that's not going to last. It's something that that blows me away every time I look at it, and I'm so happy that it's part of the collection. Now let's talk a little about it. This one here is done. Let me get you a couple close-ups here. I'll tell you a little bit about the watch. Like I always do, and then show you guys what it looks like on the wrist. What I love about this is that they've done a lot of really interesting things that I haven't seen Invicta do before on, and I'm sure they've done it, but I personally haven't seen it done on any of their watches. So, now the obvious, you have 0.33 carats of clear white diamonds around the bezel, and then you have the triple cabled bezel. Now this model is the Zeus Bolt, or Bolt Zeus. I always get that kind of screwed up there. Is it Bolt Zeus? Bolt Zeus, okay. And it's done all naturally in mirror polished black plating over 316L stainless steel, of course. And this is their newest design bezel. So this is my third Bolt Zeus that I have in my collection. The original ones actually have one single cable around the bezel, and it's something new they're doing with the triple cabled bezel. I love this piece, guys, and I gotta tell you, this thing absolutely sparkles. What I also like about this watch is not only do you have that 0.33 carats of diamonds around the bezel, but on each hour marker, you have a black gemstone. Now, it's not listed as far as what that is on the website, unfortunately. I'm going to try to find out, but it is some sort of black gemstone. It might be onyx, it might be spinel, I'm not really sure, but it is absolutely awesome. And this thing, you get this underneath the light, natural daylight, or get this thing under some like halogen spotlights. I was in a restaurant the other day and they happened to have some halogen lights in the ceiling there, and the light just hit it right, and this thing was just sparkling. It is absolutely stunning. Another thing that was a big selling feature of this watch is the fact that they've done a skeletonized face on it, which is a quartz automatic Ronda movement, of course. That's a Z60 power in this watch. But what I love that they've done is Invicta does some really interesting things. Instead of just using your traditional needles on the complications, they actually on this particular one used a gear. And I'm just going to pull out a screwdriver here and just kind of, hopefully you can see it by the video, but right here on this particular one right here, this is your seconds hand. And instead of having a hand, again, you have a gear, and there is a little tick mark on the gear where showing your second hand marker. And what's awesome about that is it gives even more, it solidifies the look of a automatic skeletonized watch even more, because when you look at it, you don't see just a hand, ticking around. You actually see this gear moving, and it gives the illusion that the watch is completely mechanical. And it is skeletonized, but it just gives it just a very different look. And I like that Invicta does that on what I would say a lot of their newer watches coming out when they start to do things that involve more detail on the face. All right, so a little bit more about it. Once again, that's 0.33 carats in diamond weight around the bezel. You have your triple braided cable bezel on this one as well, done in black, and what I would consider kind of a titanium matte finish gray look. They carry that theme down the side like they do on all the bolts, and of course on the sides of the watch. And again, this finish on the watch is pretty much all mirror polished black plating, with the exception of down the center of the link where it's done in kind of a matte finish. So it gives a nice little contrast to the band. Standard case back, of course, like on most of bolts. And this thing is just absolutely stunning, guys. All right, so before I throw it on the wrist, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys a little bit more about the watch. You guys know I keep it kind of simple when it comes to just the specifics, but again, powered by a Swiss-made Ronda Z60 quartz chronograph movement. You have 52 millimeters in case diameter, so it is a huge timepiece naturally. Anything over 50 is large, guys. And the bolt is just, I remember my first bolt, I had to have one. It was just so intricate, and all the details and the cabling. It really is a great watch. Now I have this one in all silver, and I have this one in all in the rose tone, yellow tone gold, one of my favorite combinations. But one thing I've always said, guys, when it comes to a black watch, you gotta have something that makes it kind of stand out. Otherwise, it just looks like a G-Shock. Nothing wrong with G-Shock. I like G-Shock, but you know, you have to have something that kind of brings it out. And just like the abalone, which I mentioned on the Grand Octane that I have, you know, that's something very different. My Aragon watch, was the millipede with the limited edition gemstones. It makes the watch have something a little bit special that you're just not going to see every day on a standard black watch. Because ultimately, if it's just plain black, it's just kind of boring. And that's just my opinion. So that's what I like when I see a watch. It has some interesting details like this. I had to get it. So I paid about $5.50 for it, guys. So I'm telling you, this is not going to stick around. This is a brand new released piece. Get it while you can. And I'll put a link in the description where it's available with the coupon. I'll put the coupon code. You get 35–40% off. Get about $5.50 shipped to your door through Invicta stores. Okay, but use my link. Okay, I'll put it in the description. A bit more about it on the complications. You have perpetual seconds, a date window, the 30-minute indicator, and the day of the week. 22 millimeters in case thickness, so it's a nice thick timepiece, same thickness as your Venom. It really stands off the wrist very well. It is the movement of the movement is a Swiss-made movement. Now that doesn't mean it's made in Switzerland, guys. So you know, do your research on that. You know, the Swiss-made, I guess, classification nowadays, it kind of is meaningless. It's back in the day, it really meant that a watch was made in Switzerland. And let's face it, guys, just because a watch isn't made in Switzerland doesn't mean it's not a great product. Okay. All right, so again, 0.33 carats in diamond weight. That doesn't include your gemstones on the hour markers. And again, I'll try to find out exactly what those are made of. But they're definitely, you know, I'm not really sure if they're actually black or not. I can't really tell if those gemstones on the markers, when you look at it from the side, they appear to be clear. So I'm not really sure if they're just set against something black. But you would think that these would show up kind of black too, but they don't. They show up clear. The other ones have more of a darker tone to them, where they actually look like a black diamond on there. I will try to find that out and put it in the description. Diamond color grade is H2I, and then of course your clarity grade is I1 to I2. Comes in the Invicta box. This one here, they sent the blue one, which was kind of weird because I would think they would have sent something different than blue, but maybe that's just what they kind of throw one in. I don't really care. I only use these things if I go traveling. I want to bring a couple watches with me. It's a great way to protect your watch. What else? 660 feet of water resistance, 34 millimeter in band width, 8 1/4 inches in band length. So if you have a pretty big wrist, this will fit you. And screw down crown, non-screw down function pushers, and unidirectional rotating bezel. And the crystal is Invicta's Flame Fusion crystal. So that's about it as far as specifics. Let's take another little peek at what it looks like from the sides. I'll give you kind of a rundown of the exterior of the watch. I mean, just stunning, guys. I know you guys always tell me, or not all the time, but you guys will say, man, you talk too much, show us more of the watch. Guys, this is how I review, sorry. Hopefully you can see that face right there. There you go, you can kind of see that second wheel turning. Just a great, great design. Now, time will tell on this. I always get a little bit nervous when it comes to, you know, anything with a stone. You know, I've had gemstone and pieces over the years. I haven't really had any problems other than like some of the really inexpensive ones that I would get years ago. Like, I mean, when I was a really young guy, like the full iced out Addy K's. And they've held up. They've lost stones, but you don't want to lose any diamonds, of course. So I'm curious to see how this is going to hold up. Hopefully these are prong set and glued. I assume they are. Time will tell. You guys know I'll always be honest with you guys. If I have any kind of issues, I will let you guys know, but I don't foresee any issues with Invicta watches. I've had so many over the years. I've had most of my Invicta watches for well over 4 years now, and most of them still are running off the same battery as well. One thing to note that, you know, if you have a lot of watches in your collection, I rotate my watches. I wear them all the time. You know, I'm always resetting the watches, so accuracy is not really a big deal for me because I have so many watches that I pull the crown to save the battery. And on the Ronda movements, on most of the Ronda movements, you can pull the crown all the way out. That'll stop the movement from functioning or from ticking away, and you'll save battery power by 70% in doing that. It's something that Ronda does. A lot of other brands do it too, so I would suggest if you have Invicta watch, Google the brand, Google the movement. If it is a Ronda, of course, you go right to the Ronda website, and it'll tell you whether or not it has the ability to save the power consumption, which is great. All right, guys. Without further ado, let's throw it on the wrist. I'm about 175 pounds. I'm back to the track now. Gotta get down 165. I'm about 5'7.5", and I have a 7-inch wrist, so naturally all these watches look large on me. And you know, I get the question a lot. Some guys are like, you know, I don't like, you know, this particular watch because it's too big. I like smaller watches, and nothing wrong with that. But I always say, you know, Invicta makes a lot of women's watches as well. So if you see a watch that you like, you're like, God, I really like the bolt design, the Zeus bolt. I've reviewed a woman's watch in the rose tone. It's exactly like the men's, just smaller. So you might want to look at the woman's line. If you're a guy who really likes design but just says, hey, you know, 50 millimeter, too big for me, I don't find it comfortable, it's just not my style, then definitely check out some of the women's watches. Now, you're not going to find every style with the woman's counterpart, but you might find something that you're going to be happy with. And, you know, a lot of guys are like, you know, I'm a big guy, I need a big watch. Guys, you can be any size and pull a watch off like this. And some people, you know, like a lot of my coworkers and some people at work, they'll be like, you know, I couldn't pull it off, but for some reason it looks good on you. You can pull it off. It's all about your attitude. It's you wear what you want, like what you want, and you can pull anything off. You know, I mean, it just doesn't, you don't have to be a big guy to rock a big watch. And I like being, you know, 5'7.5", 7-inch wrist. I like the fact that the watches look absolutely monstrous. Like monstrosity, like just a monstrosity on the wrist. You know what I mean? I like it to be big, bold, and stand out. And this watch definitely does that, as do most of the Invictas. Just stunning, man. Man, I love it. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment. Subscribe to the channel, click that bell to be notified anytime I upload a new video. If you want to get this, jump on it. This will not last, I guarantee you. I'll put a link again in the description where you get this for the best deal. I'll put what coupons are available. Again, the Invicta Store's website, they change their coupons like weekly. So sometimes you get the 35% off, sometimes 50%. Just kind of depends. I tried using the clearance 50 coupon on this one here, and it would not work. The only one that would work, because it's a brand new piece, is the 35% off, which gets you right about, I believe, $5.50 to your door shipped. No tax, so that's great. So definitely check it out, guys. Get it while you can. If black isn't your thing, they also make this one in a all mirror polished stainless steel, but the cabling is going to be a combination of silver and green, and I just didn't really care for the green so much, but still a beautiful piece. I think the black is just, I've been wanting a black diamond watch for so long now, and I'm really glad this is has found a home here with me. All right, guys, thanks again for watching.